Amazon's new Lord of the Rings TV series is ramping up production and has sent out a casting call for all unusual-looking people. The New Zealand talent agency BGT Actors, Models and Talent put up an ad on Facebook urgently asking all funky-looking New Zealanders to apply.
Character faces. Do you have a few wrinkles? Have you been out in that sunshine? Has your face got a little bit like, oh, too much sunshine, I love the sun, I look like a leather handbag? So, wrinkles, teeth missing, wonky eye, no eye, glass eye, can you take your eye out? Have you got a burn scar? Have you got limbs missing? You know, if you're an amputee, do you have one leg? So yes, character faces, character beings.
There's definitely some interesting traits that are being sought after here. The ad also mentions they are casting those that are really tall and slender, as well as those that are androgynous looking, and gave the examples of Tilda Swinton and David Bowie. I think it's safe to say those are probably extras for the elves, and I'm sure they are casting for a wide range of roles for the different peoples of Middle-earth. But the emphasis for this ad really seemed to be centered on short people, preferably under 5 feet, and those with unusual or standout facial features. Also those that have a stocky build and sort of mean-looking, those with wrinkles and freckles, hairy people of all ages and ethnicities. Some of these extras will likely be dwarves given the short and hairy descriptors, but seeing as a lot of these facial features that they mention would otherwise be covered up with hair like the dwarves are famous for, it makes me suspect they're looking for extras to represent another race of Middle-earth that we haven't seen featured before, and that might play a significant role in the upcoming series. Given that this show is set in the Second Age, I immediately thought that this description might be fitting for the race of men known as the Druedain, aka the Wild Men of the Woods. These are people that prefer to dwell in forests, and even though they are of the race of men, they have shorter lifespans and possess certain magical abilities. They are a friend to elves and carry a deep hatred for orcs. They mostly resemble dwarves in stature and build, however they notably do not have much facial hair. Some are known to sport somewhat of a goatee, but not nearly to the extent of the bushy beards that are worn by dwarves. They are stocky, with thick legs and arms, broad chests, and fat bellies. They are also described as having unlovely faces that are unusually wide and expressionless, with deep-set black eyes that glow red when they're angry. They are a simple and typically good-natured folk, but could also be as temperamental and fiery as a dwarf. Unfortunately, at certain times in their history in Middle-earth, they were persecuted by men and looked down on because of their appearance, and so they mostly kept to themselves, seeking a life of peace and quiet. By the time of the Second Age, however, relations between them and the rest of the peoples of Middle-earth were much improved. In the Second Age, when the Kingdom of Numenor was established, the Druedain were permitted to live on the island where they prospered for many years. However, because of their clairvoyant abilities, they were able to sense the coming downfall of Numenor and had all fled the island before its destruction. If you haven't seen my video covering the rise and fall of Numenor, I encourage you to check that out if you'd like to get more details, as it plays a significant part in events of the Second Age. With the rise and fall of Numenor likely to impact some of the stories that this new series will focus on, I expect that it's very likely we'll get to see the Druedain at some point. The descriptions given for these extras would certainly fit the bill, and I think it would be really interesting to see this mysterious folk adapted to the screen, as they are not heavily featured in Tolkien's works. I could be reading way too much into this, but I just thought it was a really interesting bit of news, and I would love to hear your thoughts and speculations as well about this unusual casting call. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and be sure to subscribe for more Lord of the Rings and other sci-fi and fantasy content. Thank you all so much for your support, and as always, have a very nerdy day.